ParshaCast.com presents.
Every Shabbat holiday and fast day we read a Haftarah. Every now and then, I like to explore the meaning of the Haftarah in a segment called Haf Inspiration. It's Bonus Friday on the ParshaCast. As I mentioned a few days ago on Midrash Monday, hashtag Midrash Mondays, this week's Parsha begins with an argument between Yosef and his older brother Yehudah. What begins with a battle, though, ends in reconciliation, as Yosef reveals himself to the whole family and is reunited. And there is much rejoicing. Yay! Yechezkel's prophecy, as recounted in this week's Haftarah, follows a similar pattern to this week's Parsha. Hashem tells Yechezkel to take two sticks, labeling one as Judah and the other as Yosef, and to hold these sticks together in one hand as if they are one. What was separate becomes whole. In the prophecy, God promises redemption to the Jewish people in a very specific order. First, number one, God will gather the Israelites from among the nations and bring them to the land of Israel. 2, God will make them one nation under one king for the first time since the death of King Solomon. 3, the people will return to God, worshiping only Hashem and in an appropriate fashion. Sorry, kids, no idols. Number 4, they will have sovereignty over the land under the king that God appoints. 5, God will form a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace over all the people. Number 6, God will dwell with the people of Israel forever. God is our God, we are God's people. And number 7, all the nations will know Hashem is God, and this is the God who makes the Israelites, us, Kadosh. And it goes without saying that there will still be much rejoicing. Yay. While there are many takeaways from this text, there's one lately that sticks out to me: the connections between unity, sovereignty, and peace. Right now we have sovereignty, the state of Israel. But we don't have peace, and we don't really seem to have unity either. Now, it's not like us Jews are that good at unity. In every age, it seems, we've found something to fight with each other over. Often to the point where Jews were killing other Jews, or at the very least, excommunicating them. Now, keep in mind, unity doesn't mean coming to an agreement on all things. You can be unified and in a dispute at the same time. Look no further than the relationship between the houses of Hillel and Shammai, who disagreed on everything, but whose daughters and sons were free to marry each other, and that's a great example of being unified without having agreement. Spend some time on the Jewish web. The comments sections on Times of Israel, or the comments in the forward, or just on Facebook, and you might wonder whether we can ever find unity with the kind of things we say to each other, the things we accuse each other of. The arguments on those pages are much more Kamsa and Bar Kamsa, whose argument the rabbis say led to the destruction of the Second Temple, than those arguments are Hillel and Shammai. Now, if, as this Haftarah implies, peace can only come with unity, what are we supposed to do? Will we ever find peace to go along with our sovereignty? Well, I think we will. The prophets say we will. I'm also an optimist. But it'll take work. It'll take patience. And most of all, it'll take Hashem. It'll take God's presence to make it happen. You see, in the Haftarah, God does not only list the order in which we go from exile to unity, sovereignty, and peace. Instead, Hashem plays an essential role in guiding us in that direction. Maybe it's only God, only Hashem, only that divine presence that can give us what we need to find unity. Now, Hashem's not going to show up on Facebook with thunder and lightning emoji and just say, "You, stop it right now." That's not how the Shekhinah works. Instead, we have to depend on Hashem to work in much more subtle ways. God doesn't show up with special effects. We know from another prophet, Eliyahu, that God is really present in the still, small voice. That voice that whispers advice in our ears. So what might that still small voice be telling us now? I like to think that Hashem's still small voice has a very simple message a message for the ages, but a message that's particularly relevant today. Today, when so much of what we do and what we say is just in text, it's just typing with our fingers. We're not saying them face to face. We don't always have a human being right in front of us. And it's a very simple message. That person you're arguing with, that person making you angry, that person making your blood boil, that person is as much Hashem's child as you are. And if you have an obligation to teach, to treat Hashem with respect, to treat your God with respect, then you have an obligation to treat God's children with respect as well. As we enter this new year on the secular calendar, I hope that, with Hashem's help, we can fulfill Yechezkel's prophecy of unity, and that from that unity, shalom, peace, can follow. Shabbat Shalom.